Remember when Dave Filoni on an episode of Rebels Recon casually gave a massive hint about the Grand Inquisitor's identity and origins in Star Wars Rebels?
You will learn a great deal about the Grand Inquisitor. You'll be able to guess at who the Grand Inquisitor was. This is a cruel thing to say, but it's not the first time you've ever seen him. He has been in the Clone Wars. You just didn't know it.
This was a cruel and rather haunting remark. For some time, it burned its way into my brain. How was he in the Clone Wars, but we didn't know his identity? So, like anybody else, I ignored the cryptic clue and immediately began to dig through old Clone Wars episodes for any male power I could find. Sadly, I came up empty-handed. Then, as if to start a fire in my brain, I was sent a theory on the Grand Inquisitor's existence that was near perfect. What if, as Dave said, we saw the Inquisitor in the Clone Wars and couldn't know it because we couldn't see his face? And the reason we couldn't see his face is because he was in fact wearing a mask as a temple guard. The temple guards, who were quoted as a Jedi temple guard, would disappear inside the formal robes and identity-concealing masks, the ultimate expression of emotional detachment required in service to a higher calling. Temple guards are featured in Rebels' mid-season trailer as well, which would be perfect hint that they will elaborate on some of their brethren falling to the dark side, as promised by Filoni in Rebels Recon. Further evidence to bolster this theory is their shared use of a double-bladed lightsaber. In researching the saber type, it is evident only few individuals had a preference for them, as they were rare and hard to master. However, the two groups shown to be proficient with variants of double-bladed lightsabers are, you guessed it, Temple Guards and Inquisitors. So why would Temple Guards betray the Jedi Order? Well, in Revenge of the Sith, we don't see Temple Guards actively fighting or defending the Temple. What if Palpatine had corrupted and taken control of all, if not a portion of the Temple's guards? That would make storming the Jedi Temple itself infinitely easier. Also, Palpatine could have been using the Temple Guards to spy on the Jedi for no telling how many years. Look how casual he is with them in this scene. Everything starts to feel right at home and make sense.
Take her away.
That would also explain why Kanan meets up with some of the still pure Temple Guards who didn't turn, or as it is a big galaxy, were guarding a different temple than the defectors. I mean, there's always some truth in Legends, and the Inquisitor's origins in Legends is that most Jedi who survived Order 66 were either killed or turned by Grand Inquisitors, like the Grand Inquisitor of Rebels, who most likely trained the other Inquisitors, opting for what he knew, a double-bladed lightsaber with a deadly twist compared to the saber pike. Speaking of Inquisitors in Legends, my favorite was the Dark Jedi Jerick.
I have no further use for you, old man.
Who took on many apprentices of his own. Once the Empire fell, he was so ambitious that he used the remnant of the Empire stormtroopers and recruited Inquisitors to his ranks. Which sounds a lot like a certain supreme leader, most ambitious of them. But why then is the third new Inquisitor based off Knights of Ren concept art? The fifth brother is also based off unused Knights of Ren concept art according to Dave Filoni. There's also 7 Inquisitors and 7 Knights of Ren. What if 7 is the magic number? Now, it doesn't make sense using Knights of Ren concept art for an entirely different group, unless some of its founding members were originally Inquisitors. Logically, it makes sense that they could use that artwork, as the Knights of Ren are basically an evolution of Inquisitors. Now, if the Inquisitors were Knights of Ren, they would be incredibly formidable opponents by the time of the destruction of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy. And it makes sense. Darth Vader, who is their direct master in Rebels, dies at the Battle of Endor. They looked up to him like no other. Rudderless, they drift. Maybe Snoke takes them into hiding and gathering remnants of the Empire. Or maybe they begin the Knights of Ren in honor of the Sith Lord himself, but see the Sith way is failing, as the Jedi had as well, so they start a completely new entity, putting Kylo Ren as their master, grandson of Vader, and a conduit of the light and dark. He could be the perfect template to mold and control. But the beauty of this video is it is just the start of the discussion. Let me know in the comments below, do you think the Inquisitors started out as Temple Guards, and them transforming into the Knights of Ren stretching it? Or does it make perfect sense? Because if you love Star Wars, I want to talk to you about it. It's as simple as that.
You are beat.